This video is going to be three-part, and it's about abortion. The first part is just this group of people when it comes to the abortion debate that really irritate me, and I'd like to see if anybody else has any justifications or insights into it. The second part is going to be about how I think we should change the structure of the ability to get an abortion a little bit. I'm pro-choice, so I like how they're set up now. I just think they need to change just a tick. And then the third part is this technology that I theorize working to kind of break in between the ground of a pro-life and pro-choice. I'm not sure if it would be valid or not, so if anybody out there is scientific, watch till the end because this is for you. The first bit is about the people who say, we are not okay with abortion unless it's a case of rape or incest. Because they're not really picking a side, they're kind of in the middle, and they're not the ones that say, oh yeah, we hate abortion except when the mother's in danger. Because, that makes sense. Even from a pro-life stance, that makes sense. The mother's in danger, she takes precedence. But you ask these people, okay, so why are you okay with abortion when it's a case of rape or incest, but not normally? And the answer that I've always gotten from these people is, well, if you do it normally, you're killing a child. And the first thing that jumps to my mind is, oh, so now you're not killing a child if it's a case of rape or incest? If it's one, it has to be the other. They're the same. If it's a normal pregnancy, it is the same pregnancy as if it were a case of rape or incest, just by a different person in a different context. It is still as legitimate of a child. If I actually believed the child was alive, I'd probably punch that person in the face. Because they're saying now that because it's a product of rape or incest, that it's basically illegitimate and trash. And it's worthless, so get rid of it. And I'd like to know if anybody has any justifications that I'm just completely overlooking, or that everybody else that I've talked to is completely overlooked, because as far as I can tell, if you're against abortion in one case, you should be against it in all. Except for, again, if the mother's in danger. That I understand. Anyway, the second part. I think the father should have minimal say. I think if a woman is mentally unstable, it should be the father's decision. I'm not sure how the laws are structured on that as is, if that's, already primarily the case, or if you just wait till the woman's stable again. I'm not certain how that works, but I think the father should have say in some situations, depending on the circumstances. I don't claim to know what all those circumstances are, but I think we should look into it, because it's his DNA too. It's not his body that's being done work on, so I don't think he should have as much say as the woman, obviously. But he's still a part of it, so his word belongs there. The other part of the laws is I think you should be required to visit a psychologist for 3-4 sessions before you're allowed to do this. I don't think you should be allowed to see a psychologist who either supports or denigrates abortion. It should just be somebody to talk you through why you're doing what you're doing. Does it make sense? Is it rational? Is it reasonable? Are you doing it because you're scared, or are you doing it because you have to? Like, if it's going to interfere with your job, and you have no other way of supporting yourself, you really should get the abortion. Because, then you're going to start having problems. You won't be able to feed yourself, much less your kid. So I think that you should, again, see a psychologist and have him evaluate you. I don't think it should be necessarily up to the psychologist if you get to have an abortion or not, but I think it should be mandatory that you see one. And then for the third part of this video, the technology that I theorize working. I don't see why we couldn't at least start doing research on technologies that would allow us to surgically go in, remove the embryo or fetus or whatever classified as that in the stage of time that it was in, and remove it. Take it out and artificially grow it. I think this should be an expensive process, so that way it doesn't, drain the state's money or the country's money, because these children will become wards of the state. And I only see that causing a few social problems, but I think those could easily be countered for. I just want to know if the technology itself is actually feasible, because the societal problems can be countered, but if it's technologically impossible, it's not likely. So if anybody knows why it wouldn't work, I haven't found anything that says it wouldn't, but then again, I haven't really found much on if it would or not. So anybody scientifically oriented, especially genetically, biologically, comment. And if you have comments on anything that I've said here, whether it was about that group of people who really rather irritate me, whether you're justifying what they're saying or agreeing with me, whatever it is, I'd be glad to hear it. If you think anything differently about the structure of the laws, or if you're reinforcing what I'm saying, that'd be great. Also, with this technology, as I said, if you know anything about it, let me know. I'll try and respond as quickly as I can. And please like and subscribe. It would mean a ton to me.